This is part 16 of the Craftsman 6x48 Belt Disc Sander Rebuild Series. If you haven't seen part 15, click the link at the top of the screen. In this video, we will complete the assembly. Hello everyone, I'm Jeff and welcome to my shop. We got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. Starting off with the pedestal base, this is some super lube that I'm going to lube the bores that the column rides in. And just like with the drill press, when we install that column, we're not going to have it go all the way to the concrete. It's going to stop at that bottom bore. Then we have the top mount, and we will again lube the bores and attach it to the column. Tighten all that down, and we are done with the pedestal. Next, we'll install the base. Now it has two screws that attach it to the top of the pedestal, and the one that's facing the camera we're going to be installing along with the mount and the fabricated Powr-Panl. And because that's kind of a tight area to get to, it's going to take me a few minutes here to get it squared away. Another important note to make here is that you have the top mount and the base of the pedestal mount all oriented in the proper direction. If you put them together backwards, where let's say that top mount was reversed 180 degrees, so the section that's facing us would face away, it's going to be unbalanced and would have a propensity to tip over. So just make sure you've assembled it correctly. So here we have the table support bracket, and I'm just lubing it up, all of the milled surface areas on it. Then we'll lube up the milled surfaces on the base itself and then mount the bracket. And this is pretty much what I'm going to be doing throughout. Any of the milled or raw metal surfaces, we will be applying some sort of protection to them. Here is the support rod, and we're just going to get it in there for now. We're not worried about it being the proper height or anything yet. So next we're going to install the belt table, and if you recall, one of the bearings has a retaining ring on it. That retaining ring is going to reside in that little cutout right there. And that's what's going to hold all of that together. That's why it's loose until you get it mounted. So once you've got it lined up, and once you've tightened down these two outer screws, all of that is nice and tight in there. The drive shaft should not shift left or right anymore. Now, we never applied the set screw for the drive pulley there yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to align that drive pulley. So here we're just looking at it from the other side and getting it even lined up with the milled surface on the table, and then we'll go ahead and attach or tighten down that set screw. There we go. Then we've got a key that we're going to install on the drive shaft. If you recall, there was two of these, and one sits directly under the set screw for that drive pulley. And we're going to loosen up the two screws that are holding the belt table at its 90-degree angle, and we're going to rotate that down, and then we're going to level it and adjust the height of the support rod. Once we've got that done, we can raise it back up, tighten it all back down, and then we can install the belt. So as long as you've got the belt rolling in the correct direction, you can adjust the tension here by hand, and we'll get into a lot more of that a little bit later. So these two screws, this one that we're installing now is for the smaller fence, and then this one down here is for the work table if it's set up on the side for the disc. So we're just going to go ahead and put both of those screws in there. That way they're there if my sister ever needs them. Alright, so then we're going to go ahead and lube up the two bores for the work table support rod. And then we're going to install that work table. So we put the rod in first, and then we put the table on it and tighten all that down, level it out, get it 90 degrees to the belt. So this obviously is something that you're going to have to fiddle with until you get everything lined up the way you want it. And then tighten it all down. Next, we've got another key, and then the drive pulley. And I think that drive shaft got mushroomed a little bit on the end because the pulley doesn't want to just slide on there. Not a big deal. We'll just tap it on until it finds its way. There we go. And then we'll install the set screw and tighten it down. Now the distance of that pulley from that support bracket is going to be determined based on the belt guard and the pulley that is on the motor shaft. That's why they have set screws, so that we can adjust them. Next we'll be installing the V-belt. I'm using a cogged V-belt. This is a 1/2 inch by 36 inch. And really you need to stick to that size if you're going to be installing a belt guard. If you're not going to use a belt guard, then you can go with whatever size you want. And next we will install the motor. So if you recall from the previous video, we went ahead and installed that motor on the motor mount. So all we've got to do is attach the motor mount to the column. And this is another one of those, you got to work with it to get it to go and everything to line up. And it's kind of heavy and you're trying to balance it all while you're trying to tighten it down. Make sure everything's as lined up as you can get it. And then we're going to go ahead and plug the motor into the Powr-Panl and do a test run. Now I'm going to slow the footage down a little bit here, and you're going to see that the belt is actually running in the wrong direction. It's running north or up. It should be running down. So we're going to need to reverse the motor, and I do that off camera and I do it later on. I don't do it at this point. I didn't even realize it was running in the wrong direction at this point. So here we're just installing the belt guard bracket and then the belt guard. And we're going to do another test to make sure that the belt's not riding on that belt guard. Now again, another viewer pointed out in a previous video that that belt guard is actually upside down right now. It's supposed to cover the motor pulley, not the drive pulley. But at this point, I didn't realize that. So now we're going to go ahead and install the disc or sanding plate. And the set screw for it. and then test run again. So one of the things that I am noticing, in addition to the belt running in the wrong direction, is that this belt disc sander wants to walk a lot. My other belt disc sander doesn't walk anything like this. So then we're going to go ahead and apply some Johnson's floor wax or paste wax to the work table surface. I use this on pretty much all of my work tables, but any paste wax would do. Then we're going to do another test run, and here you'll see it walk quite a bit. You can see that base just wanting to move. Now, part of that is that disc that's on there now. It kind of throws the balance off a little bit. So I went ahead and purchased 4 of these from this seller off of eBay, and I'm going to install them here. And I was hoping that this would cut down on the walking, since they've got kind of a hard plastic foot to them. But they're more for leveling than they are for anti-walk. And my sister's garage is where she's going to have this, and it's concrete floor, so it's going to walk just as much as it's walking in my basement. So we'll go ahead and test that again. And now I did modify those and put a slot at the top of them so that I could adjust them. And it walks a little bit less, but it's still walking. You can see it shift there. So this is how you adjust the belt, and I've already reversed the motor at this point. So you've got the 2 lock knobs up top, and you just loosen them, adjust the belt, and then lock them back down. So this is where we started. This is what we started with. And what I've decided to do with my sister is I'm going to leave the belt guard on it in the incorrect direction, kind of like how this one is here. And I am going to remove that disc, and it cuts down on the walking a good bit. I've got the motor moved as close to the column as I can get it, so it's not the motor that's causing the walking really. I even tried going with a 1/2 horsepower motor, put that on there, and still got just as much walking. So it is what it is. But this is the finished belt disc sander. And once my sister figures out where she wants it, I'll come up with a plan, even if we have to go ahead and use some concrete screws to mount it to her floor. And then it won't walk at all. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I mean, I think it looks great and it works good. It just has that propensity to walk a little bit. And I'm not real crazy about the belt adjustments on this one, but it is what it is. So this is the next project. This is a 150 series Craftsman Emerson drill press. And I'll be starting work on it next. So as I said, I enjoyed working on this project. It was a lot more involved than I was expecting it to be. There was some fabrication that we did there, and I think overall it was a fun series to do, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you got any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below. As always, I appreciate the support, and I will see you next time.